Good morning, Sally. Wonderful to be back with you after a fortnight's break. How are you today?
Oh, I'm terrific, thanks, Harry, and I totally love your bow tie. Very
Oh, good. I've
smart.
actually ordered some more, so there will be a little bit more variety. Yeah,
Ooh, very
yeah.
nice. So what's been happening?
Oh, lots of stuff. We went down the Shoalhaven for the weekend, and I did my mentor training, so lots been happening, and lots of new clients, of course. Lots of stress mums. Yes.
Oh, there's more and more. So it's a growing percentage, big time, big time.
So one of the things I see in lots of my mums is that they don't care for themselves
Mm,
properly, and a lot of them don't love themselves.
mm,
So, what better topic than that? Self love and self care.
absolutely, absolutely, so important. It's not something that should be overlooked, but really taken seriously. Because with the amount of stress in our lives, all the mental health illnesses, all that sort of stuff, we can peel it back, take off that layer of the onions, and come down to self love and self care. It's really going to help everyone have a much better quality of life and have more joy and happiness in their days.
Yeah,
True,
yeah.
it's really true. It's soul
So,
destroying, isn't it, Harry? It must be because you see so many stressed out mums, and it doesn't
yeah,
pull your heartstrings.
yeah. Look, it's really hard. It's really hard, and I think the mums always put their kids first,
Mm-hmm.
unless they don't, and then well, that's a whole other story. But
That's a whole other topic, yeah.
most of my mums put their kids first, and so they never actually get the care they need themselves.
Mm,
And so they get stressed and they get stressed. So then the family gets stressed. Then it's chronic. Then it's the new normal. And then they don't know what it's like to have peace.
no, get adrenal fatigue, even get
Yeah.
resentment build in from doing the same thing, exhaustion, total exhaustion,
Mhm. Mhm.
cortisol, adrenaline's running through the roof. It's just
Yeah.
constant living with stress. As Joe Dispenza
Exactly.
say, you're living in survival mode, not living in thriving mode. You're just getting by each day.
So one of the things that is useful is just to have this mindset to treat yourself as you'd like to treat others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you know affirm your value. Affirm. Daily affirmations are really powerful.
Very powerful. Yep.
Journal. If you're a journaling kind of person, journal your strengths.
Yep.
Think about a gratitude practice.
Yep.
Work on the positive self-talk, which will crowd out the inner critic.
Absolutely. I've got that down. Build up that inner coach, big time. Stop putting yourself down.
Mm.
Look at all your beautiful attributes and qualities and achievements as well. The achieving side is often overlooked of like, well, what have I actually done? Stop and reflect. OMG. And then that inner coach is going to go, wow, you've done an amazing job considering the circumstances, the challenges that you've come up across. But yeah, absolutely. Sorry, keep going. It's just like something I'm
So
passionate.
last week, I had a kind of a confronting moment where I'd gone through a weekend of mentors training,
Mm-hmm.
then with a group in Canberra for young boys, and then we had a games morning where we played with all the boys. And then the boys put their top two or three picks on a list to be matched for 2 years, and then the matching was done, and I was left unmatched. And you can go through a whole lot of scripts about, well, maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe no one liked me.
Yep.
But then actually what I decided to do is trust the process, because I don't know what went on in the matching process. And yeah, there were lots of young, cool dudes who are interested in sport and look good, and that's fine. So that's a good example of where I just focused on the positive with trust and didn't allow the inner critic to come in and shout loud as he
Mm,
could have done.
And I really
And
like
that was quite hard. It was quite challenging. Yeah.
very,
I
very.
really had to work at it. Yeah.
And as we always say, it's you've got to get uncomfortable with um, doing things differently. So not allowing those old scripts of like, oh, you're just not good enough, or you didn't measure up, or whatever it is. and then really trusting in the process. I think trust is so important. Trust that something better is around the corner. And it's just having that faith and belief that it actually is something better, and it was not meant to be. You know, the right thing will appear at the right time. I'm a huge believer in that. Yeah.
And so the next part of self-love and self-care, I think, is to look after your physical body, because the vehicle that gets us through from where we are to our dreams. So it's about eating well, understanding about how to spend your organic dollar, understand about the impacts of fast food and processed foods long term, to have a home that is tidy enough so you can get what you need. So if you can't see the floor, maybe there's time to clean up.
You know, that's that whole reflection of thing of your house represents your state of mind in your life at the moment. So if it's, you know, mess everywhere, so is your life. It's just like not all organised and in place. Yeah.
I mean, some of us have very untidy desks, but we know where everything is, and other people have completely clear desks. And I marvel when I go to say somebody and they've got one bit of paper on their desk, which is the bit of paper we're working on now. I just that's like being on another planet for me.
Yeah. I call it organised chaos. So I spent 6 hours just cleaning out my office, but I've got piles of everything and it's organised. You know, it's just, I don't have one single piece. I've got 20,000. Yeah.
And then there's you know, regular checkups. I think over 50, it's a really good idea to start having full sets of bloods, blood pressure check. Yeah, maybe every couple of years, and then when you get to 60, I think do it every year. And the benefit in doing it every year is that you can notice when one of the stats starts to drift out of line, and then you can investigate. Well, what does that mean? What do I need to do about that?
Yeah.
You know? And then we all sum up what we think of people in about a couple of seconds, based on how they present.
Correct.
So if you've got, you know, stained tracky pants and an old torn T-shirt, and you've got your fluffy bedroom slippers on in front of me in the supermarket queue, well, maybe I'm not going to employ you to do something for me.
Yeah. No, it's difficult because it's such a superficial world that we live in, and appearance is really important. And as you say, with the fast-moving world, everything, you've got 3 seconds to make an impression, you know, or to engage people.
But before we started, you made a little tweak to your appearance for this very reason. And now show us what you did, Sal, because I was so impressed. I'd never seen this before.
It's just a girly thing. It's got a light, on your lip gloss, a little bit of mirror. So you can see.
Look at that. That is so cool.
You can see what you're doing. There you go.
So that's about making yourself look better, and because
you feel better.
On a video. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very funny.
And that matters because people are going to make different opinions about what you and I look at.
Yeah.
You know, if we present more.
I've just got a few stats here on kids and their body image and self-esteem. It's frightening, Harry. It's frightening. So if we can instill some self-love and some self-care from an early age, you know, those teenage years are frightening. What have I got here? 70% of girls aged between 15 and 17 avoid normal activities when they feel bad about their looks. Like, so that's from going out, getting involved with sport, whatever it is. That's 70%. And then 75% of girls with low self-esteem engage in negative activities. Now that's like smoking, drinking, cutting, you know, doing, you know, really bad things to themselves because they feel so shit about themselves. And then
unprotected sex.
Everything. They just throw caution to the wind and just go, stuff it, you know. And, you know, their low self-esteem is mainly about their body shape and their weight. And, you know, social media is not helping in many ways there. 20% of teens experience depression before adulthood. So that's, you know, 1 in 5 are going to before they even become adults, have some form of depression. But it's not just the girls, boys as well. 40% of high school boys regularly exercise to bulk up and build muscle mass so that they look the part, all of that sort of stuff. And by 17, this is in America, 78% of girls are unhappy with their bodies. Like, that's almost 4 out of 5 girls are unhappy. But that's because it's all the superficial stuff. It's the external stuff. And this is what I really bang on about with so many people. That's all the external. If you can build up the internal, build up your self-love for yourself, you let all the other stuff go. And, when you start loving yourself more, and we talk about this often, then you can love others more authentically, and then you can allow others to love you for you, the authentic, genuine you. And that's the key. I think if teenagers can embrace that, and that's something that we learn as adults down the track, 40s, 50s, whatever, often is when it doesn't sort of click in. But if you can embrace that you are beautiful for you, for your qualities, your inner qualities, your good heart, your warmth, all that sort of stuff, then you'll let all the other stuff go. It's just like, it's something I'm really passionate about, because it's just, you see beautiful people. I sit with my clients, they come in and they're caught up with the bigger thighs or the mid spread or whatever, and I go, but look at your face, it's stunning. You've got awesome hair, and what a beautiful person you are on the inside. Yeah, sure, tick all the boxes, do all your exercise and whatever, but don't beat yourself up. You're not going to get the 20-year-old body probably because of genetics, age, whatever, menopause, whatever, but just be comfortable within your own skin, and then you'll be comfortable in life.
They don't believe it, do they?
No, but it's small steps, Harry. It's small steps.
No, I get that. But you can say it, but they don't believe it.
And that's when it's so upsetting, because you see these beautiful people just got that inner critic putting themselves down. It's just awful. A lot of women are doing it to impress other women, and not doing it to impress other guys. It's just to keep up the status quo, to fit in. It's like,
you know what it's like going to pick up the kids from school, where your kids go to school.
Yeah.
There's very strong peer pressure amongst the mums.
Oh my God, I'll never forget when the oldest was in kindy. So I had twins, very young twins in the double pram, and the walkway was very narrow, and I was pregnant with the fourth one. And I was just getting by, looking after 2 dogs, renovating houses, all that sort of stuff. I was just like, OMG, I'm only just surviving. And I looked like crap because there was no time for myself. And the only people that spoke to me were the nannies. Like the other mums were like, oh my God, they're all done up to the nines, whatever, for pick up and drop off. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to survive. And it wasn't until that it was discovered that I had a little bit of, lived in a good house and had some nice properties and cars and things, that people started to friend me. It was just like...
I'll tell you another story like that.
Yeah.
One of my relos was in England, and she's of Indian origin, and no one wanted to talk to her when she rocked up in her battered old car at a private school in England. And then one day her husband lent her the roller, and she rocked up in that, and then everybody wanted to know her.
See, superficial world, it's really difficult. And with the pressures on us, I know myself, I was putting myself down. I'm just a nothing. It was like this shrinking under and that's why I've done all this work, because it's like my life was just awful. And building up self-love, it's challenging, and it's not an overnight process. You have to do it. But it's like little things, just like literally looking in the mirror and, saying a nice words to yourself, or giving yourself a kiss, or even you're awesome writing something in lipstick on your mirror, just something on your screensaver. I do this a lot with clients. Like, let's just have constant reminders around us that you're doing a great job, like you're an awesome person. Reward yourself, be yourself. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be genuine. It's okay to be authentic, and it's okay to be different. It's
okay to look in front of a mirror and say, I'm bright and beautiful and I love myself.
Absolutely. And it's
so many of my clients, when I ask them to do that, it takes months for them to get the courage up to do that in front of a mirror. It takes great courage.
a lot of courage, but what are the options? Is keep on going through life pretending with this facade, and then having this hurt and pain within you where you're just really not that happy. How awesome is it, Harry, just to be yourself and be comfortable in your own skin? It's just like, it's like coming out. It's just the best.
I'm thinking of the crab walk now, but anyway.
A Hawaii moment. But forgiveness is an important part too with self-love. Forgiving yourself for just being you. It is what it is. Don't beat yourself up.
To make errors is to be human, and that's the best way we learn by making mistakes.
We learn. Absolutely. And look, it's so many of my clients, I say, look at what you've achieved in your life. Look at what you've been able to do. Look at what you've put yourself through and how awesome that you've come out the other end. So many people are stuck with, the woe and whatever, rather than flipping it over, saying, yeah, that was a challenging time. And look, I've brought all the family through. I've got all the kids out through school. We've got through a divorce, or we've got through bankruptcy, or whatever it is. Like, wow, done an amazing job. I'm really, really passionate about helping people see the good side of themselves. I did a little, where is it? I did a little model on, well, I've done it more focusing on self-love, but it's like basically if you build up your coach, so build up that inner coach like you were talking about before, and quieten down that inner critic, the first one to self-sabotage, to drag you down. And then if you create more and more moments to appreciate your awesome qualities and attributes, you're just overall going to be more calm. You'll sit with more peace and calm, and reduces and stress and anxiety that often you're putting yourself through. Then when you're creating more and more moments to appreciate your awesome qualities and attributes, and you clear out a lot of the tasks that are literally draining you and even make you more resentful, then you're going to sit with more control, get greater control back of your life and the choices that you're making. So clearing out those things that are draining you, that really, they're not on the top of the list. Then finally, once you're clearing out those things that are draining you and really, really, at the end of the day, don't need to be done, and you're building up that inner coach, talking yourself up, then you're just going to be overall more confident within yourself and just be more authentic and genuine, not pleasing others all the time. And then overall, you're just going to increase your self-love.
Very good.
Very passionate about that.
So, yeah, I've got some stats. There was some stats out of the US. It's a tiny study, quite a large study.
Mm-hmm.
Only 6.6% of adults engaged in any self-care. Pretty low.
6.6%. Wow.
There are some global stats. 275 million people suffer anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
268 million are depressed. The age group 18 to 25 are overrepresented, and a majority receive no treatment of any sort. So these stats, I think, are from the developed world.
Wow.
But if we look on Instagram, surprise, we find there's not, in pretty much any moment, there's 9.5 million Instagram posts on self-care.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Bit of an unmet need there, I suspect. And most of the stats come out of the US, alas, but only 55% of American psychiatrists accept health insurance.
Yeah, right.
For the wealthy.
Yeah.
And if I look at my breakfast networking group, surprise, surprise, what do we have? We have an anxiety expert. That's all he does.
Yeah.
We have a PTSD expert. That's all she does.
Yeah.
In a group of 40, we have 2 of those that just specialize on that.
Yeah.
So if we think about, a metaphor, if you say you have a fruit tree, you want to eat its fruit every year. We've got an apricot tree. You've got to water it. You've got to fertilize it. You've got to weed the ground underneath. You've got to do the same for yourself. So, my model is that you've got to affirm yourself, affirm your beauty, affirm a positive view of yourself.
Yeah.
address your physical needs, maintain that physical body you've
Mm-hmm.
got. And then accumulate whatever knowledge you need, whatever positive, happy experiences that will nurture you. Accumulate those through your life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do all of that, it'll allow you to feel alive, accelerate your progress in the world, ascend to a higher level as a personality, and to access your magic.
Yeah, love it. I love it.
And the 3 steps I've got are firstly, really do the work to love yourself and love your body.
Yeah, love your body. Very good, Harry. Can I just repeat that one? Love your body for how it is. Just love it. Yeah.
And take the time and make the effort to connect with kindred souls, because all the wellness research shows that quality of life later on is the biggest single factor is your connections, your community.
Absolutely.
Which you are. Can be Bill Gates. If you haven't got friends, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
And then take the time when you need to rest and recharge.
Yep. Really good. Because sleep's so important. Sleep is one of the biggest things that people are missing out on. And I forgot to throw the stats in for that one, but it's sleep. It's affecting everybody. If you don't get a good night's sleep, everything affects you. You feel more stressful and you react to things in a more stressful and anxious way and overwhelmed. So sleep is key as part of that.
Did I send you that link to Tiang's video, the skincare woman?
Oh, that brought tears to my eyes. That's the most,
So the phrase she uses, which I'm going to title this session, is, I am enough.
I am enough, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I entitled mine Love to Love You Baby. Love to love you baby. I can't remember the chick who sings that. Oh, Yeah. Is it Diana Ross? I'm not sure.
Good word.
Yeah, it's so important that you are enough as you are. You are beautiful as you are. And when you really have those affirmations are so powerful, just short, powerful affirmations. I am enough. I am love. I am beautiful. I am a good soul. I am caring. I have a warm heart. There's so many affirmations that you just pull off, and yeah, I'm really passionate about that one. So with those, your steps, because I've got
they were my steps. Yeah.
Mine were more about self-love. Reach out and do things that bring you joy and satisfy your soul. Just really bring those into your life. Reserve your time and energy and do things that serve you and not everyone else. Do things that are going to boost you and your family, but not all the peripherals. And then 3, really, really, really important, is to reward yourself for doing things that are serving you, but also for even not doing things that you used to do. So reward yourself that I didn't go down that same pattern, that I didn't pick up those extra 2 kids and said, no, sorry, I've got to be home in time for whatever. And just reward yourself that you are able to have the courage, which you always talk about, the courage to say no. Because putting up those healthy boundaries, we talk about that every week. Healthy boundaries to protect yourself, learning to say no and letting go of the extra shit you're doing that's just exhausting you, because you will become resentful at the end of the day. Your health will get affected. And, the other thing that we sort of touched on with self-care and self-love, it's also for long-term preventing illness down the track, because you might be able to just get through these days, but what impact is it going to have on your health down the track? Exhausting yourself or overdoing it, and then you literally burnt out or resentful, and not loving yourself now, and then down the track you're just going to be a grumpy old Harry when you get old, just blaming everybody else and externalizing everything.
And that's the advantage of having regular full set of bloods, is that you pick up some of those markers earlier.
Yeah,
and some of these markers are visible 10, 20 years before disease.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's maintenance, ongoing maintenance. It's just like, you go hard at the gym and then you just sort of maintain it, maintain your exercise. And it's the same thing with your health, being on top of things. And as you said, because then you can see patterns and see when things are changing, because you've got a base to to scale from. So yeah. Very good, very good. Because self-love it's external, but it's all about the internal. It's how you perceive yourself, or how you're perceived by others on your external image, but it's really how you perceive yourself on the inside, how you really feel about yourself, emotions you have about yourself, connection you have with yourself, rather than going within, meditating and really getting to know yourself, your soul and your heart, connecting in there. Super important. Something we're both very, very passionate about, hey?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Sally. Well, that's good. We'll catch you next week.
No, I can talk about this all day. I'll have to stop.
Yeah.
Putting some boundaries in. Oh, all right, beautiful. Can't wait to see your new selection of ties.
Okay, awesome. Okay, see you next week, Sally.
See you later. Bye.